Okay, so hello again, everyone, and welcome to our third session now in collaboration with the study coach team of the event Let's Get Back on Track. And tonight we have also Miss Macedo de Jesus from the internship office, and we are so very glad to both you and Miss Gaibova, because today um, you are gonna talk about a topic that I think for most year 3 student it's quite scaring maybe. So internships, and then we'll also go over some other year 3 matters, and also answering some of the questions that some of you sent in the sign up form. So I think we can start right away. So then we have enough time to dedicate to these important matters. And thank you again for the ones joining, and to our guest presenters, and of course to Veronica that is helping me, that's organizing with me these events, and is monitoring them with me. Okay, thank you, and I will leave the floor to Miss Gaibova and Miss Macedo de Jesus.
Nice. Thank you very much, Bianca and Veronica, for first of all the invitation to participate in this event. I think for me, at least, it's my first time participating in an event from ILSA. So it's just nice to see new faces, because I work mostly with year 1 students. And yeah, have a chance to collaborate here a little bit as well.
Thank you very much, Bianca and Veronica. Again, you're doing a great job. I think at least once a week, you guys are organizing these events, and there are more events to come. If you guys keep an eye on Blackboard, you will see that there are other internship-related, career-related events that we strongly recommend you to attend. And if you missed the events from last week and 2 weeks ago, you can check them out on ILSA's YouTube channel. There are plenty of useful videos there already. Right. Okay, so
shall I share the presentation?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so in the spirit of a good lecturer, here we go for the PowerPoints, the slides, as always. But I think they will be very helpful to make things very visual, right? And we try to make them cute. So I hope this helps a little bit more. So yeah, this is the topic for today, internship, and also some study tips. And with no further ado, let's start. Let me see. Yeah, so the agenda for today is the following. We're gonna, Miss Gaibova and we're going to introduce ourselves very briefly, followed by a quick introduction on the internship course. Some information about how to find an internship, because I believe for year 3 students, this is the most urgent matter, right? And also following this, how to get the internships you find, right? This is what we want at the end. And by the end, some study tips that are always very valuable, don't matter in which year you are, and was also some of the questions we received from students. So we decided to address this as soon as possible already in this first meeting of the week. So first, who we are and what we do. So I am Agnes Macedo de Jesus. I think by the name you all know that I'm not Dutch, and you're right. I come originally from Brazil. I don't speak Spanish, don't say that. I speak Portuguese, and the capital of Brazil, it's not Rio de Janeiro, it's Brasilia, where I come from. So just some cultural knowledge for all of you, to some background on Brazil for all of you. I work as a teaching assistant at the university and also as an internship liaison officer. So basically, I have a lot of responsibilities in the university because of these 2 roles, but I think what is interesting here is that I help Mr. Lorange Aurelian to manage the internship course. So It's a very interesting part of my roles because, again, it's my connection with year 3 and year 4 students. Layla.
Right. Well, welcome everyone again. I'm Layla Gaibava. I'm a teaching assistant in the skills line, just like Ms. Macedo, and I'm also a study coach. So we are a group of 6 study coaches. You probably met some of us already, but in case you haven't, and in case there's something that you would like to discuss with the study coaches, you can always book an appointment. Here's the email on the slide, low-studycoach@hhs.nl. But I think that I might as well use this opportunity to address some of the questions that you guys had, because you were wondering when you can contact the study coach or how exactly the study coach can help you. And I thought I will go through that quickly. Well, first of all, what we do as the study coaches is we help you to minimize study delays. So you can actually set up an appointment with us in your second year, but in the first year as well. But it would probably be a bit more useful to set it up in your second, third, and fourth year, because that's the time when you're likely to have study delays, right? Because in your first year, you're still in the very beginning of your studies, especially now that we're still in quarter 3. But in any case, we're always happy to assist students from all years with a focus on students from year 2, 3, and 4. So what we do is we meet with the students and we see how many credits they're missing from which year. It can be that, for instance, you have a certain number of credits in year 2 and a certain number of credits in year 3. So you're sort of studying year 2 and year 3 courses at the same time. And that's a bit confusing because you don't really know what to prioritize. And that's when we can help you out, because of course you need to be aware of all the requirements for, let's say, your 4 eligibility. If you want to write a thesis course, for instance, you need to make sure that you have completed the research lab from year 3. So all these formalities that you're not necessarily aware of, we are happy to discuss with you, and ultimately we try to make sure that you're on track to graduate on time. So that's one thing. Second, as I already mentioned briefly, we are determining your eligibility for year 4 courses. So again, it boils out to us seeing how many credits you have in year 2 and year 3, and seeing whether or not it's possible for you to enroll in year 4 courses. We also recently introduced the mentor program, and perhaps some of you are already in this program, but the idea is that it is a peer-to-peer program where there's a student from, let's say, year 2, 3, or 4, and this student is paired or matched with another student, let's say from the first year or the second year. So the student who has a bit more experience will share their experience with the student, with the other student, with their colleague, and that's how you ultimately learn from each other. And so far, the feedback was very positive. So again, keep an eye on Blackboard, because we'll be recruiting more mentors and accepting more applications from the mentees in the coming month as well. Right, we're also running workshops, as you can probably tell, in collaboration with ILSA every week, and other workshops on study skills we run in the past as well. And we're also sharing knowledge clips on study techniques. Again, this is something that you can already get access to. If you go to Blackboard General 2020, there's a study coach folder called Study Coaching 2020-2021. And there are plenty of useful sources there. So we regularly update it. We post knowledge clips on study techniques. And I know that some of you are perhaps struggling with that, or I don't know, it could be note taking or lack of concentration or what have you. So we do make sure that you can get access to that information by either recording knowledge clips or sharing some really cool stuff from the internet that we really think can help you to advance in your studies. So that's what we do. Something that I also wanted to draw your attention to is the program and examination regulation document. It's again something that you can get access to if you go to the study coach folder on Blackboard, the study coach tab. And there you can find very detailed information about the program, about the requirements to enter the internship course, for instance, or the thesis course or what have you. So it's very useful. And if you have questions, then I think perhaps 90% of the questions you have, you can find answers in the PER. So in case you have never heard of it, now you have, and I think that it's probably one of those things that you really need to check out, especially when you have questions. Hopefully that will help you a lot. Right, so yes, just to wrap this up, my introduction, you can contact us, as I said, at low-studycoach@hhs.nl, and you should send us 2 documents. It's the year overview document and the study plan document. So again, if you go to the study coach tab on Blackboard, you will see that there's a short introductory video where we introduce ourselves and we explain what we do, basically what I've just done. And we also tell you what we expect you to do if you want to set up a meeting. So what kind of documents you need to provide and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. Just know that there's this nice video or whatever you want to call it with all the instructions. Right, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them now because I'll then give the floor to my colleague and she's going to talk about the internship course and internship tips more generally. Is there anything that I haven't covered that you still have questions on?
I don't see any hand up or
Me
any
neither.
question
Me
in the
neither.
chat, so I think
Right.
it's okay.
Okay, I mean, you can always write on the chat if you have questions. Okay, thank you. Then I'll give the floor to my colleague, Miss Macedo.
All right. So yeah, you guys will have the chance to experience the first a mini version of some study tips later today in the presentation, just to give a taste of the good stuff we have out there. But before we arrive at this, we're gonna go over internship. So please, computer, don't crash on me. Okay. So the internship course. And here I collected some key points of things that you should know as a year 3 student. So first of all, know that the internship is a year 4 course. All right. But this does not mean that you cannot do it. What you must have in mind is that to be eligible to be part of our internship course, and I say part of our internship course because I really mean it, because you can do other internships whenever you want, in year 1 and year 2, but it just won't count for our course as the internship course. All right, so to be eligible for our internship course, the one that will be in your diploma at the end, you must have completed years 1 and 2. This is the requirement. So it's designed for year 4, but if you are year 3 students and you have completed years 1 and 2, you are eligible. So we do have a lot of year 3 students starting their internships. It happens quite often. The second block of information would be what the internship course consists of. So we require that each student has at least 100 working days to be able to finalize the internship. Again, your internship can have way more than that, but we only need this little piece, this 100 working days. Seems little, but it's actually not little. We calculate it's around 4 months. So we only need this period to be able to count for the internship course purposes. All right. If your internship is smaller than that, this means that you have to take a second one. So we need 100 working days. Besides that, you have to submit at the very beginning of your internship. So once you receive a proposal from an employer and you are starting the first steps into this internship, you have to submit a work plan to us, the internship team, as stating what is the goal of your internship? What are you going to do in this internship? Because if at the end, in the work plan, we see that you will be only carrying packages of documents up and down the stairs, this is not legal, this doesn't work for us. So this work plan is to give us a feeling whether this internship is legal or not. If you as an intern will grow in the legal practice with this internship or not. So this is the aim of the work plan. And it's one of the first documents you have to generate for us that will count points. And this is a 10% of your final grade, and it's a pass and fail. It's very simple. The second gradable element is the portfolio. The portfolio, it's a document that we are still revising some of the requirements to make it a little bit shorter than the previous years. But let's say it's a document of around from 30 to 50 pages where you're going to describe a lot of elements of your internship. For instance, the place you're doing your internship, the country, because sometimes this is interesting. We have a lot of students doing in all around the world the internships, and this brings interesting elements. So it's nice to put this there, right? What you've learned in terms of communication, in terms of organization, in terms of management, what challenged you and how you overcome these challenges. Yeah. So there are a lot of interesting elements in the portfolio that you have to fulfill. This is always all very clearly stated in the course description. So I will not enter too much into detail, but this is 80% of your grade, and it's 1 to 10. Same old, 5.5 to pass, right? This is no news for anyone. And the presentation is the final gradable element. That is 10% of your grade. The portfolio, we advise the students to start building it and writing it throughout the internship, but we know that most of you don't. So usually it takes 4 weeks. So you finish the internship and you take there 3 to 4 weeks to just finish everything. It's possible, it works that way as well. Just we have some tricky deadlines, but then if you email us, we can help you with that. And the presentation is always after the 100 working days are over. So you finish your 100 working days, you give us the proof of that, and then we schedule your presentation. Who is going to be there? Your mentor, that is one of the lecturers of our program, that will be accompanying you throughout the whole course of the internship. So if you have questions, something not very nice happened with my employer, he doesn't give me enough work, the mentor is the first contact for that. So this mentor, this person will be there. It's most likely it's the same mentor as the thesis. So you can have a good contact just with one person. And I think it makes it easier for everyone. And a second evaluator. So these two people will be there dialoguing with you in a 1 hour session. So the presentation takes usually 20 minutes, and then it's just questions asking how the internship was and what you learned during this time, etc., etc. More details on that I think will be a bit too much for this session, but I left there the information and where you can find further information on that. So please check Blackboard 2020 Internship. That is the course of this academic year. And you'll find the course description. It's a very long document. Students don't like it. We are working on that to make it more digestible. But this is what we have. And if you go over it, you'll see into detail all these requirements. Any questions, again, email us and check the questions and answer tabs that we have there already. And check as well the internship info session, because Mr. Aurelian, that knows everything about internship, he has been working with this for I think 8 years already. He did an info session this January, and it's recorded, and the video is available in the Blackboard course as well. So you can also just watch it and maybe fast forward to the points that you have a question or that has some information you're interested on. The slides are also available on the course, so check if you need more detail on all this information here. And any questions, this is our institutional email. Any questions about this? Okay, I'll take the silence as a no and move on. So what I wanted to focus here is how to find and how to get an internship. So let's start with finding. I have some tips for you here.
Sorry, Ms. Macedo, I think we have a question on the chat.
Oh, okay. I don't have the
from
chat
Rumbi.
here.
Yeah, I'm just going to read it out loud. Does
Thanks.
internship have to be in the same area as year 3 specialization?
No, doesn't have to.
Right, and just another quick question. I was wondering if you mentioned that you can do 2 internships in 4 months, right? But I think that's the max. You can't do more than 2, right?
Yeah, so we don't advise students to do 2 internships at the same time, one overlapping the other, because then it most likely it won't be full time. So at the end, you still have the same amount of working days. So if you want to look for something that will give you 100 work days or a big chunk of it, and you just complement the necessary rest with other internship. What I can give you from my experience is that 100 working days is not something hard to achieve, because most of the internships are designed to have a period of minimum 4 months and maximum 6 months that are possible to renew. But what happens is that sometimes the student doesn't like the internship, or it's just not a match between the student and the employer. A lot of things can happen, right? And or they wanted to go to a country. This happened a lot during all these COVID measures, and then the barriers got closed, and then a distance internship was not possible anymore. So it was necessary to stop the contract. And then just remember that if you don't have 100 working days, we are sorry about not working for you, but you have to look for another one. So this is a hard requirement, 100 working days.
Right. So you can have you can potentially do 2 short internships.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But not more than 2.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
I think that would. I'm not sure if it's forbidden, but I don't see how this would be necessary.
Exactly.
Unless you're very unlucky and you only find terrible matches in your internships.
Yeah.
All right, but thank you for bringing the questions, because I really can't see the chat. I think because I have so many things open and Teams crashing a little bit. So I will. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure about this either. But referring to the question, I think that I read somewhere that on the Blackboard or some documents that actually 2 is the maximum number of internship allowed. But as you said, I mean, I think that 2 internships should be enough to cover 100 working days. But I remember this specific as well.
Okay,
exactly,
so if it's in the course description, then it's true. It's just because I never had a case, so I really don't know from heart. So if it's saying the course description, then it is. Know that it's weird that you need more than that. So it must, it will probably not be an issue.
Just
and if it is, we are always here, of course.
Yeah, just to add something, you can also check the program and examination regulations, as I already mentioned previously, and check all the requirements and see perhaps it's mentioned there as well. So of course you should check the course description, but would be nice to also have a look at the per.
Yeah, indeed.
And there is a question in the chat. I can read it. Can we start an internship before enrolling for the course? For example, starting by the end of August and the university starting in September.
Yes, yes, you can. We just ask in this case that you communicate with us, because, for example, you want the internship to count since moment 1, right? But you won't be enrolled in the course yet, because the course will still won't exist neither on Blackboard, neither on Osiris. Right? So if you have a case like this, you want to start in the summer, please communicate to us so we are aware of it, and we can help you through the process of getting the documents, because it's common that some questions appear. So just communicate to us as soon as possible. All right, with these cases. Any other questions that you guys see?
No.
I think that should be
No,
it for now.
All right,
Thank you.
so if you have more questions, I will open more a new moment for those after I present this slide. So now I'm talking about how to find an internship. So first one, you have to start searching. The internship won't fall in your lap, right? You really have to go after this. And here it's a series of websites that I recommend you to use. I'll send these slides to our colleagues from ILSA, and they can maybe find a way to share this with all of you so you have access to this information. But this is a series of websites, and here is the source where I found this list, where you can really click on each of these links, and there is already an explanation on what each of these websites will offer you. Some are in Dutch, not necessarily only for Dutch people, but they are mostly in Dutch, so they might be a little bit tricky. Others are focused on people that already graduated. Others are more focused on internships in the EU. So they have different profiles. I am very familiarized with Magnet.me because it was the one I used for finding a job. And it's basically, if I can say in a funny way, it's a Tinder of jobs. You create a profile, companies have a profile where they will also be sharing the internship opportunities, and you start matching with the ones you like and applying for them. So it's a really nice and fun platform that is designed in a very modern way, so it's a nice one. A second one that I know a lot about is Indeed. Not so cool, not so modern, a very ugly basic design, but it's very up to date. And here you can find find not only internships, but jobs in all fields. So you have to work a little bit with keywords. So legal intern, European law. So use some keywords to create filters that will send notifications to your emails when these vacancies appear. So it's a very interesting platform because you can connect it to your email, so you don't need to keep fishing in the platform. It notifies you. And finally, LinkedIn. A lot of people don't know, but LinkedIn is also a job search platform. And I would like to stop the presentation a little bit just to share with you some possibilities of the LinkedIn, showing you how my LinkedIn is right now, because I updated it very recently, last year. Not very recently, but recently enough. As soon as I got this job here at the university, and you can see this tool because I have the premium version. So let me just okay, here it is. Oh, I didn't have to stop the sharing. So let me go back to that. Here it is. Okay, so here is LinkedIn. One first tip that I would like to give to all of you is to keep it up to date, always, your LinkedIn, right? And make it personal. So if your LinkedIn is not up to date, you see that there is a common look that comes with this area here. Let's see if one of my colleagues have the ugly one. If the internet helps. Okay, now Isabella changed hers. Let's see this dude here. Oh, okay, so this is the new basic one. So as you can see, it will come with a basic format, and you don't want that. You want to make it something personal, right? It does not matter what you're going to put here, but make something different to show that you actually put effort on creating this platform, right? If you have the premium option, that is the one that I have indicated by this symbol here, this function will appear to you, where you put opening to finding a new job. The moment you click this opportunity, this option here, all the recruiters in the platform will be able to see and connect with you for job opportunities. And this is really nice, really helpful. And with the premium function, you also have access to this tab here for jobs, where you can connect with organization. So for example, Intern Legal Affairs, Office of Prosecution, United Nations. The first opportunity that appears to me. Another one, compliance agent. So this is already after graduating. So you just, again, throw some keywords. You can put the city as well, and all the opportunities will appear here. In the Netherlands first, and then if you expand your search, you can find in other countries. And here you see all the description, and you have the button apply. So you apply directly on the platform. It's really useful. So I would really incentivize all of you to keep your LinkedIn up to date, personal, so not the basic one that appears here, sorry. And if possible, because I don't know the financial limitations, I know that being a student sometimes is not very easy. But if you can have the premium version, have it so you can have access to these extra functionalities and make your profile available for recruiters. Oh, I put here open to hiring, but it's actually open to finding a job. So I'll update this later. A last tip about LinkedIn, connect yourself with as much people as possible. If you're being picky with your Instagram, here is the moment that you want to accept everyone that sends you an invitation. Why? Because this is networking. And if you have more than 500 connections, LinkedIn reacts differently to your profile and make it more visible to other people. So you will start appearing in the top of everyone's ranks when they search for your first name or your last name. And this works for you if you're looking for a job and you have recruiters looking for some basic information that are in your profile. All right. So this is my first tip for you on how to search for an internship. Second tip, be disciplined and organized. We see a lot of students saying, oh, I can't find an internship. And then we ask them, but how long have you been applying for internships? 3 months. That's a good time. But how many internships applications did you do so far? 15. 15 is 1 day of applications. So we recommend here that try 10 applications per day if you're really hunting. Right? Maybe if you're just like, it's coming my time, I would just look here, chill. You can try as like 5, but it has to be something that you really go for it. It's a hunting, right? If you're looking for a job, Mr. Aurelian always tells me this story that he used to send 100 applications per day. This is just insane. In my good days when I was looking for a job, I used to send 20, 25. So you see that 10 per day is okay. And you really have to do it, mainly because COVID created extra barriers to finding an internship. And you have to do your best to try to overcome these barriers as best as you can, right? And second tip about being organized and disciplined, keep track. You don't want to apply for the same internships you already did, because this shows that you're not paying attention, right? And you lose time that could be dedicated to applying to new stuff. So keep track, maybe an Excel file with the company, the vacancy, the place you found it, the link, and the deadline. Something very simple with key information like this. So you can say like, I remember seeing something like that. Let me go over my list. And then you find something, because some internships are shared in multiple platforms. So it can be that sometimes you find it in different places. And finally, know the employer and what they want. Don't look not only at the internship description, but at the website of the employer. And this is also a tip to prepare for the interview, but this is material that will be covered tomorrow or Wednesday. But in the next meeting that you have, Ms. Kemshaw will give a lot of nice tips about how to prepare for an interview. So I'll save it for now, but know that this is a very valuable tip also for that. Because from looking at the website of your employer, you'll find out the profile of the company, the mindset of the company, the culture inside that company or organization. Are they more international, or are they more national based, more Dutch people? Do they like people that can work in a more fast-pacing environment, or they like people that it's more chill? You have time to actually think and breathe before making a decision. So by knowing that, you can actually think with yourself, do I really want to work at this place? And it also gives you keywords to put in your cover letter, because then you say the goals of the company. There's always a session about that, or the goals of the organization. This is what you're going to bring to your cover letter to show that you did your homework. You researched the company. It's not only a cover letter that you copy and paste and send to multiple submissions, applications, all right? And a special tip for us is the Employer Network event, the ENE, because there, in all this material you can find on Blackboard, also in the or 2020 internship or general, and you have all the videos there. And a lot of the employers receive these questions. What are you looking for in your cover letters, in your interns? And they said, we look for people that know this about our company. We look for students that are creative with their cover letters, that just unexpected cover letters, or we just want something serious students. They told you what they want. So if you have the chance to go over this material, it will also be very, very nice. Before I move to the next topic, any questions about finding an internship or about the course that you didn't have the opportunity to ask?
Okay, I don't see anything in the chat nor any hand raised. And also in the meantime, Ms. Macedo, I've added you to the team. So from now on, you should be able to see the chat as well.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, I can see it now. It's not updating very fast. Again, my computer is a bit overloaded, but if there are no questions, then I will continue. So you did the research, right? You found out if this is the internship for you. You went in the employer's website, etc., etc. You kept everything organized. You did the applications. So what happens now? You have some documents that must be given to during this application process. And you see this in Indeed, in Magnet Me. You have to upload your CV already in the platform so they can use it as a base, or you can always send a specific one targeted to that vacancy. And if it's a application that you send through email, this is also what they usually ask. So these are the core documents, CV and cover letter. We'll go into more detail into them, but some general tips first. Create a nice layout. Don't do something ugly and basic on Word. Why? Because it's ugly and basic. It's not going to stand out. And if you think that people that are hiring, they will receive 200, 500 applications exactly looking like yours, they will see that piece of paper and throw it away or put in the bottom of the pile. It doesn't stand out. They have to read too much. They have to look too much for information. This is not good. They have to hit the eyes in the paper and find all the information they need. So it has to be pleasant for the eye of the person that is looking through all of those documents. Second tip, keep a nice layout and keep the visual identity between the CV and the cover letter. You want them to look the same in terms of visual identity. So you create your profile. They will see one and see the other and relate automatically one with the other. Yeah, they come from the same person. Have a basic skeleton to save you time. So you create a CV, right? And there is usually a moment where you say what you want at the beginning, your objectives. LLB student looking for an internship in the area of European law, to be able to gather more skills and knowledge in the area, and in the future become an international, an European lawyer. And then you find a nice internship in international law, not European law. So you want to change these parts as well, but keep a skeleton. This will save you time. And the same works for the cover letter. Keep a skeleton, but don't forget to change the keywords, change the explanation, change your motivation. Because the reader will see and will notice that this is not a copy and paste. You actually put effort and you research the internship and the employer before submitting that application. And finally, always submit PDF files, never Word files. Why? Because Word, depending on the version the person has, the type of computer the person has, it will completely destroy the layout you put so much effort to create. On the other hand, PDF is a hard file. The layout, everything that is there, it's not editable. You cannot change, cannot move. So the moment you save, it's precisely like that the person will see and read. So it's a safer type of file that you won't lose information accidentally because of conversion between different versions of Word. All right, so always send PDFs unless the vacancy explicitly states that they want a Word file. Then you just go with what the vacancy is saying. On the other hand, always PDF. So let's look here into some examples that I created very quickly just for you to see. So this would be, it's not the most beautiful, it can be better than that, but just so you can see that it's not the usual name and word typed with bullet points basic document that sometimes we see. So you have your name, your title. The moment the employer hits the eyes here, they already got these two important informations with all your contacts, address, if they want to send you something. People don't do that anymore, right, through letters, but we still keep them there, phone and email. They'll also see very clearly your goal in life. Why are you applying? What is the ultimate goal for this application and sending the CV? This is what you want to put here. They will see very clearly all this information, experience, communication, leadership, references. All your education will be here, key skills that you want to highlight specifically for that vacancy. Boom, one look, they will have all this information. You see how what I mean by something easy to digest? You hit the eye, you know where all the information you need can be found. And obviously the way you create these titles, it can change, right? You can put your experience and maybe extracurricular activities, for example, the ILSA, something not related with the curriculum of the course, but you did extra as a volunteering work. Employers like that a lot, so I would recommend that you always put this kind of extra activities and volunteering activities in your CV. So it can be something with this design that you put in a different title. Yeah. In the same line, you have your cover letter. Same heading, your name, your position in life, the LLB student, address, phone, email. And here you start. Oh. Name of the company, address, regarding. So just the topic, right? This is how we do emails. Application for the position of legal intern. Application for the legal intern vacancy number, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes there is a big number that they ask you to put there. And you start your letter. Signature at the end to make it nice. Done. All right. So this is what I wanted to highlight about the visual identity of one and the other. Clear so far? Any questions about CV and cover letter? I will just zoom in here so you can see the content a little bit better.
I have a small question, if I may.
Sure.
Okay, it is regarding the layout. I heard that it's recommended to use traditional layouts for the CV, and especially for they say that the more traditional the labor sector is better to keep it plain and simple, the CV. and especially a sector like law, and for example, adding colors and forms in a reasonable way is actually a little bit less discouraged in CVs. So this is just another viewpoint that I've seen from companies that work with give recommendations for these kind of things. So I just should we then which one should we choose?
Yeah, so this is absolutely true. When I was looking for a job, I consulted with 3 different recruiters, and each of them gave me a different information. So some of them said like the CV has to be 1 page. The others said like, no, it can be 2 because you have a lot of experience. You can't fit everything in one front. And some said like, oh, you have to be basic because law, it's a very conservative field. And others said like, no, just be yourself. Just show who you are already from moment 1. I'm not a serious person. Look at me. You hear me, right? I'm very lean back. I'm very chill. I like to talk with people in a more horizontal way. I don't like excessive formality. So others just said, just be yourself, just being reasonable, of course. I'm not going to put balls from multiple colors around my CV, nothing like that, but something sober, black and white, can already give a lot of beautiful possibilities just with black and white if you're insecure about colors. So for instance, in this layout we have here, instead of taking this little brown here, just make it black as well. Yeah, can't be more sober than that. It's just 1 line with another line and that's it. That's the end. And text, you see?
Mm-hmm.
So on that, I would say law, it's very conservative. It might be that if you try to go a little bit extra, it will backfire, but you never know because who will hire you won't be the lawyers, will be the HR.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know who is the person behind the desk, right? And if they have 200 files to review, the one that stands out visually will win. If they have only 10, but you don't know. So this is the kind of thing you don't know. So I chose to go a little bit extra, but not too much. So my CV I couldn't access here because it's in my personal document, but it's something that looks a lot like this. That's why I chose this file, but all black and white, everything black and white, but also with different lettering types and different letters here, and here just old, good and old Calibri, and this kind of, yeah. One thing that all of them agree though, cover letters have to be 1 page. This was unanimous with all the recruiters I consulted. So, and if you can see here in this cover letter, there is also a tactic. So it's called AIDA, and it starts with attention, A from attention, E from interest, D for desire, and A, the final A, for action. So look at this example here. You start, oh, that was a bit too much. You start saying the position you're applying for and using, oh, here. The position you're applying for and using catching statements. Being an LLB student at the International European Law Program at TUAS, so they already know who you are. Instead of saying, hello, I am a student at TUAS. No, being a student at TUAS, your company caught my attention, your organization caught my attention. Bam, strong statement. They'll be curious why it caught your attention. Little Padawan. And then you see your company seems to be on the top of its game, seems to be the leader in the field, has closed the most amount of cases in this type of law of the year, won this and that ranking. You just compliment. This is the moment your research will count. So do research on the website of the firm, which makes me wonder if there could be an opportunity to contribute to your success. So it's not like, oh, give me this job because I want to learn. No, it's about the company. You adding to the company, you adding to the organization. So this is the attention. You're calling someone's attention and curiosity. And then you go to E. And the D, that is intention and desire. So second, you see here, here, this line here, you indicate what you have to offer in terms of experience. You're a student, so it's more probable that you don't have a lot of working experience, but you have your knowledge. So it's the moment that you bring all the skill courses you did, because these are a very interesting aspect of our program that a lot of other programs don't have, and they count as something different that only you have, and interesting legal knowledge that is related to the internship. So the skills that I can bring, the skills and knowledges you add here that I can bring to the table include legal representation, ability to conduct cross and direct examination, for example, skill 7. Knowledge on international and European law, specifically regarding then you make a small cut that is connected with the internship, right? So this is your I and your D. You're going to show your interest and your desire, meaning that you are making their mouth water for your experience that you're putting there. And then you go to the third paragraph. Your company or organization interests me very much because, and then it's the moment to write 3 or 5 lines on why you want to be not only at that vacancy, but at that specific place. Why not a similar vacancy in a different place? Why that place specifically calls your attention? So this is the moment for you to complement everything about the company. Again, reading their website will help you a lot here. Finally, I have attached my CV. I would very much welcome an interview. So you're calling them for action. This is our last action. I would very much welcome an interview, an invitation for an interview to give you extra details on how I can help the companies to achieve its goal, or how I can help you increase your success rates. Be creative here. Just don't be too cocky. In case you require further information, do not hesitate to contact me in the phone and email that they will easily find here. Looking forward to your reply. Sincerely, last name, signature. So very straightforward, very objective. If it's too big, they will be lazy. They won't read. Yeah? So it has to be one page and as objective and straightforward as possible. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What if we have no work experience whatsoever?
No
Are we
problem.
disadvantaged?
No,
Okay.
no problem. Because when you're applying for internship, they know that most of you are students, and most likely do not have an internship, professional experience yet. So it might be that 1 or 2 students, because of some different circumstances in their life, maybe this is already the second bachelor, they will have previous experience, but maybe they don't need that, because the idea of the internship is that you learn what you have to do in the internship, right? So this, most of the times, I think I will risk here, 98% of the times this won't be an issue. So what are you going to describe here when you say the skills and knowledge that I can bring to the table include? You're not gonna describe profession experience. You're gonna describe experience inside the academic life. So the skills courses, all the projects that you took part on, so the MUN simulations, right? These are really nice, and not all universities give that to the students. So you have experience simulating an European Parliament, right? This is nice. Teamwork counts a lot here, and you have been working as a team for 4 projects in a row. This counts a lot. So this is what you're going to focus on, the skills and knowledge acquired in your academic life. And if you have some professional experience connected with law, because if you have experience cleaning the cafe after it closes, it's not relevant, it's not connected. But if you have, then you obviously put it here, but if you don't worry about it. It's not expected from you to have professional experience being a student. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry
have-
to interrupt. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
No, sorry.
I
Nice.
have another question, which is, are 50 credits enough for year 2 to enroll in the internship course?
No, because I think year 1 and year 2 are
I
each
mean,
of them 30, right?
no, we need to obtain 60 credits for year 1 so we can get the provisos, and then in year 2 we need minimum 50, but I don't know if we need more
No,
than
you
that.
have to have year 1 and year 2 complete. So all ECTs. We
Okay.
can sometimes open exceptions if the person is missing one course and it's about to take the receipt. So it's a very, very, very specific exception. But yeah, it's year 1 and 2 complete. I see here another question. Is it necessary to put picture of yourself in either the CV or cover letter? Another one that recruiters disagree with each other. So I personally never liked putting pictures, but this is for a personal reason that I'm really against. I think it allows a lot of prejudice to happen, right? Because you see the face of the person and it's like, oh, Latina, out. Not Dutch, out. A black person, out. Right? So I don't like the system of filtering by face and physical appearance. So I never put, because I don't want to contribute to that. So, but again, the recruiters I consulted, I heard more saying no. Two said no, and one said it's okay if you want to. So, yeah, I think it's also it adds to the informality as well. So going back to the point of the previous colleague, of law being extra formal, it might be also risky to put a picture there. If it was something communication, marketing, it would be nice maybe because they like this visual. They put a lot of weight in how visual the CV is. But for law, I think it would also add to the informality, so you're getting some extra risk there. Yeah?
I have a question. When you, of course, you said that if we have like experience, whether volunteering or work experience, not related to the field we are applying to, of course, we're not mentioning it in the cover letter. But do you think it's relevant to put it in the CV, also the work experience, even though it's not related to law?
Yeah. I mean, if you have this space empty in your CV, I would put it because it shows that you're someone that acquired different skills in your life, right? So not everything connected to law, but for example, you worked delivering mail. Show that you had the strength to go after something. Go out of your comfort zone in this crazy Dutch weather where it's either raining or freezing, right? And you went to deliver mail. You have discipline. You have commitment, right? So it can get, depending on this extra profession that you want to put there, it can be a nice thing to do, as long as it doesn't take all the relevant information out of your CV. So you fill it with everything that it's directly connected with the internship, and if space is left, then you add these other experiences and skills and other comments. Some people like to put their hobbies. Again, adds to the informality, but it might be something fun for the researchers that have been through 200 things to read differently, right? If you have an interesting hobby, I don't know, you like a rock climbing and you compete and you won already 10 prizes because of that, might be something cool to have there, right? Something that makes your profile register in the mind of the recruiter. So it's a bit of a strategy.
Thank you. Yeah.
I see here Mr. Lorange said in one email that with one missing course for year 2, you are still eligible for the internship. Would you be able to register or not for the course in such a case? Well, if Mr. Aurelian said, it's law, right? So if he said, it's said, and it's the truth. Nice. So moving on to other documents. So be ready once the first documents are sent that you advance in the process, you have to produce other documents. Some other common ones here, a recommendation or a reference letter. So a statement from someone that's close to you saying how good you are as a student, as a professional, whatever. Here, my tip is ask your lecturers. If you have also previous employees that would like to give a nice contribution, a nice cover letter, reference letter, ask them as well. But here, the tip would be ask the lecturers. Yeah. And if you had previous internships, even better, then ask the previous employers. Also, transcripts from your high or elementary school. I've seen this appearing in this very, very, very strict internships, but they appear. Language certificates. So you have you're going to conduct an internship in English and you're not a native English speaker. Sometimes they can ask you for these. I don't remember the name of the certificates, but TOEFL, CAE from Cambridge, so this kind of certificates. And sometimes they ask for bank statements to see that you indeed are not having any other internship or job parallel to the internship you're planning to start. Yeah. Final tip here. Oh, I saw a question. Could you also ask our tutors? Yeah, of course. Yeah, the tutors are actually a very nice idea. Thank you for bringing that up because they worked very closely to you, right? So they are way more capable of giving a recommendation letter than lecturers that have 300 other students to teach to. So tutors are an excellent idea. I will make sure to add this to the slides later. And finally, tip here with getting the internship, be organized with these documents. You don't want to commit the mistake of when you're doing your 5 applications per day to send the wrong cover letter and the wrong CV to the wrong application, right? With the different name of an employer, this is just embarrassing. And you just burned your chance right there. So be organized with your documents. If you have documents in paper, have all of them scanned because now all applications are digitally made. So you need to have these documents in the digital format. My tip here, so you won't make this mistake of sending the wrong files around, create separate folders or tabs, depending on which platform you use to organize yourself, if it's Google Drive, if it's OneNote, or similar platforms. Create separate folders or tabs for each internship you're applying to. And I like also putting dates. So you know everything that has been done already and when they were. So, oh, I remember I made a really nice cover letter a week ago for something very similar. Let me go fish for some tips in that application. So you can easily find your files because the first 10 applications, it will be easy. But once you have submitted 100, things start losing themselves, right? So keep organized since moment 1. And finally, attention to the deadlines. This is something that we are very strict in the program and not for no reason. If they say it's the midnight of today, if it's a midnight one, they won't read your application. They won't even answer your email back. It's just no. So you have to be very attentive to deadlines. And a special tip here, do not send applications last minute. They show that you're disorganized and not diligent, right? So you want to send the applications 2 or 3 days before the deadline is due. Unless it's something that you found last minute, then you just go for it. But if it's something that you have time, please apply way before the deadline. Also because in the last day, usually the system is overloaded and things can crash and you don't want that, right? And special attention to the requirements of the internship. Sometimes in the description of the internship, they will say what they want to see in the cover letter. So you have to read all the description of the internship. Doesn't matter if it has 3 pages. Read through it, because if you miss this point, you miss your chance as well. So here it's an exercise of attention to detail. So be very attentive and very diligent. Questions before I pass the floor to Ms. Gaibava. Anything about internships that it's not clear or extra that you would like to ask?
I have a small question regarding the templates that you showed us. Can you make them available? Okay, thank you so much.
I will. You can easily find templates on the internet. This one's, for example, I googled template CV and cover letter. Then I found one for the CV, and then I just deleted the half bottom and made the cover letter. So the internet will give you a lot of beautiful templates, a lot. The one I used for applications when I was looking for a job was I found in one of these quick research on the internet. And then I found out you had to pay for it, and I could not at the time. I was still a student, low budget. So I took a screenshot to save the format that I liked, and I recreated it on Canva. Canva is this platform that I'm using now to create these slides, and it's really, really nice. In Canva already you will find a lot of templates for CVs. So if you Google CV or cover letter, you'll find a nice template. Then just make sure you double and make the other one. So look for the CV one because it's more complex. You have 2 different sides, a lot of information, and then just double it and make the cover letter just with the heading, delete the rest, and it's just text. So yeah, I will share the sample, but if all of you just copy the sample, then it won't be different anymore. So this is why I'm incentivizing you to just go look for something that it matches you, because it's a little bit about you as well. What fits your personality, what you like. So again, already thinking on what was talked here, think about more formal layout, so maybe less colors or just one color and rest the black-white spectrum. And